Strap in, bitch, cause the most mysterious, brain-melting anime of 2025 just dropped. It's called The Lord of Mysteries, and no joke, this show is blowing up faster than a toddler with a flamethrower. This ain't your cute slice-of-life high school crap. Nah, this is straight-up mind-bending, beyonder bullshit. So let's get weird. In this world, humans can become godlike beings called beyonders. But here's the catch, they gotta chug potions like it's magic moonshine. Once they do, they're on the path of divinity. Sounds fancy, right? Nah, it's more like a one-way ticket to insanity with a side of power addiction. There are 22 damn pathways, starting from something called Sequence 9. The lower your number, the more OP you get. And if you're crazy enough to survive long enough, boom, you're basically a god. That's the path of the divine, or the path of, oh shit, everything's on fire. In the next scene, we are taken to the date September 9, 1349. A terrifying monster appears, and a man arrives to fight it. The man begins saying that this world is an illusion and that chaos always continues. The supreme existence, he claims, is divine blessing. After saying this, he charges at the monster and throws his cards to fight it. But his cards are not powerful enough. The monster attacks and kills him. He falls down, and blood pours from his body. Right after that, we see the monster suddenly explode, causing a massive blast that destroys everything. In the next scene, we see a plane in the sky, and a person falls out of it. He is still falling. The man is in pain, but as he opens his eyes, he sees he has arrived in a completely different place. He wakes up and wonders, where am I? Am I dreaming? Suddenly, he sees a gun in front of him and notices that the wound on his head is healing. This shocks him, and he starts wondering, am I dead? But how did I die? Then, flashes of memory begin to return. Just then, a voice from behind says, Klein. Hearing this, Klein turns around and asks, who's Klein? But there's no one behind him. Klein then looks at his reflection in a mirror and realizes that he cannot recognize his own face. That's when it hits him, he's been reincarnated. He has entered the body of another person. In the next scene, a group of detectives enters a house and finds two dead bodies. Their names are Welch and Naya, both university graduates. After examining the scene, the detectives suspect that these two people may have taken their own lives, but one of them adds that a black divination might have been performed, or that a beyonder was sacrificed, which caused an evil force to awaken. They then find a photo showing Klein with the victims. Seeing it, they say this is Klein Moretti, and the people who died were his classmates. Klein's parents are also dead, so he currently lives with his siblings. Klein then begins to narrate about himself. He says he is a citizen of Tingen City, part of Yuva County in the Lan Kingdom on the northern continent. He recently graduated and studied the languages Faisak and Hermes at university. After that, Klein checks his diary. It says that on May 29, Welch came to meet him and mentioned discovering an ancient notebook. A later entry, dated June 20th, mentions they had solved the first page of the ancient book. They found out it belonged to the fourth epoch, and its writer came from the Antigonus family. Even the detectives recognize the importance of that name. In the diary, Klein finds a disturbing line, everyone will die, and I will also die. Reading this, he becomes anxious and begins to wonder, why would Klein write something like that? While he's deep in thought, a girl starts looking for him. Klein quickly hides the diary and wipes away the blood on the floor. Just as he finishes, the girl enters the room. Klein suddenly realizes he forgot to hide the gun. He quickly grabs it and hides it in the side drawer. The girl turns out to be Melissa, Klein's younger sister and a student at Blackthorn University. She casually asks him if he was up again last night studying, and he says, I just woke up. I was cleaning. While trying to hide the gun, the drawer makes a slight noise. Melissa hears it and asks, what was that sound? Klein quickly covers by saying, my watch broke. She believes him, helps fix the watch, and gets ready to leave. Klein watches her go and smiles, thinking she's so sweet, still taking care of her stupid brother. He then looks back into the mirror and notices something shocking. The injury on his head is completely healed. Is this the benefit of reincarnation? He wonders. The question still bothers him. Why did the original Klein take his own life? His memories are still fragmented and incomplete, but he's sure everything is connected to that mysterious ancient notebook. Klein tries to recall how it all happened. I was just doing my work, then it hits him. He had performed the luck enhancement ritual before dinner. Could that ritual be responsible for his reincarnation? As he's pondering all this, Melissa walks back in with food. She tells him to eat and says she's heading to school. On her way out, she reminds Klein to buy fresh bread, 8 pounds a loaf, before it spoils in the heat. She also tells him to buy some lamps and oil, since he's working so hard to find a job. I want to cook something good for you, she adds. I'll be home a little late today, so wait for me. Klein says goodbye, but after she leaves, he murmurs, Melissa, forgive me. When you come back, I might not be here. He starts thinking about the gun again. The revolver must have been loud, so why didn't Melissa hear it? Her room is just next door. He realizes that staying in this place is dangerous. The longer I stay here, the worse it gets. I have to try the luck enhancement ritual again. Maybe I can return to my original world, my real body. In the next scene, Klein visits the market and buys the 8-pound loaf of bread. The shopkeeper recognizes him and says, you've graduated, right? You seem like someone destined for great things. I'm sure you'll find a job soon and move to a better place. As Klein picks up the bread, he notices someone staring at him, but as he turns to look, the man quickly vanishes. Klein starts running from the spot, feeling the pressure of someone watching him. As he glances back, he sees that the same person is following him again. While escaping, Klein notices another man standing ahead, reading a book. book. That man looks up and smiles at Klein. Disturbed, Klein takes a turn and hides in a quiet place, where he encounters a mysterious woman using some kind of magical orb. The woman calmly looks at him and says, "Lost, are you? Come here, I'll guide you, reveal your future." We learn that she's the same magician from the circus show. Meanwhile, the man chasing Klein, whose name is revealed to be Jenkins, also arrives at the spot. But then, Jenkins sees the book-holding man again, standing silently nearby. The moment their eyes meet, Jenkins turns away and leaves. Klein, on the other hand, is still searching for that same mysterious man, wondering where he went. The magician then tells Klein, "Life is unpredictable. You never know what your destiny holds. But with these tarot cards, you can peek into the mysteries ahead." Hearing this, Klein thinks, tarot reading, that existed back on Earth too. Could it be that Roselle was truly guided by it? The woman then smiles and says, "You're my first customer. Come, I'll give you a tarot reading, for free." Klein sits down but raises a sly question, "Wait, will the interpretation of the cards be free too?" She freezes for a moment, but nods. Klein chuckles to himself, anything that's free always comes with a price. She begins the reading. "What do you want to know?" she asks. Klein replies, "I want to know about my past, present, and future." The woman instructs him to shuffle the cards and focus on his question. "Already done," Klein says. She draws 3 cards and lays them before him, one for the past, one for the present, and one for the future. "Which one do you want to read first?" she asks. "Let's start with the present," Klein answers. The magician flips the card, revealing a single white flower. Klein recognizes it immediately. "This is card 0, he says. "The Fool. It symbolizes new beginnings." Suddenly, another girl storms in and yells at the magician, "Why are you copying me again? Remember, you're just a beast tamer." Klein watches in confusion and starts wondering whether the magician who just read his present was actually toying with him. The angry girl tells the magician to leave, and the magician looks at Klein and says, "Regardless, the reading I gave you was accurate." She walks away. Meanwhile, the man with the book returns to look for Klein, but by then, Klein has already vanished. The next scene shows Klein back at home, attempting the luck enhancement ritual once again, hoping it might return him to his original world. He begins the process, and papers around the room start flying, but nothing happens. Why isn't it working, he wonders. Suddenly, he's struck by a painful headache, and red markings begin to appear on his body. All the telesymbols he had drawn vanish. Somewhere else, a glowing crystal shatters, releasing a red light that spills into Klein's room. Klein looks around the strange space and says, "How can this be a divine realm? There isn't even a shine here." But then, to his surprise, a massive building starts forming out of nowhere. Shocked, Klein wonders aloud, "Wait, can I control the gray fog like a game hack?" He begins using his thoughts, and suddenly, objects and structures start appearing. That's when it hits him. He's the one making it all happen. Just then, the boy who appeared earlier looks at Klein and asks, "Where am I? And who are you?" Klein hesitates. He thinks for a moment and says, I am Ming Rui. Or maybe I'm Klein." He walks over to the throne in the center of the realm and sits down. In a heavy voice, he addresses them. "You may call me." More seats begin to materialize around him. "You may call me Fool." The boy nods. "Okay, Mr. Fool. Tell me, what do you want?" Klein, or Fool, calmly responds, "This is an attempt." Hearing this, the girl excitedly asks, "So your attempt is complete? Can we go back now?" Fool answers, "Yes, if you ask me officially, I can send you home." Klein looks at them both and thinks, this girl seems sweet and innocent, but something feels off. The boy is quiet, calm, and calculating. I can't quite figure him out yet. The girl, amazed, exclaims, "This is such an incredible experience. I've always wished for mysteries like this, supernatural miracles." She turns to Fool and asks, "What should I do to become a Beyonder?" Klein is stunned. "A Beyonder? What's that supposed to mean?" he thinks. To dodge the question, he gestures to the boy and says, he'll answer that. The boy begins thinking, she seems like a noble from Lon, while I'm from Sonia C. We live far apart, so how did this fool pull us both here? Then he answers, "If you want to become a Beyonder, you'll have to join the Church of the Evernight Goddess, or the Lord of Storms, or other similar churches. But most people never get the chance. Still, Beyonders are real. They continue to fight the growing darkness threatening humanity." The girl frowns, "But I don't want to lose my freedom." The boy shrugs and says, "Then join the royal family, or the Millennium Nobility." She asks, "Isn't there another way?" The boy pauses and says, "Actually, I have 2 sequence 9 potions." Klein and the girl are both shocked. He explains, one is called Seer, and the other is Audience. Klein thinks to himself, what they're talking about, it sounds like supernatural powers, different abilities from different sequences. Could this be the ability level system? Is gray fog and transmigration a result of the Beyonder's powers? The girl then turns to Fool and says, "I've made a deal with him. I'd like to request, can you witness our pact?" Fool replies, "Okay." She smiles brightly and asks, "Can you host more of these gatherings?" Fool hesitates and thinks, "How do I even do that?" The boy then tells him, "You have powers far beyond what we can imagine. This girl and I can handle smaller matters. You don't need to involve yourself in everything." Fool thinks to himself, myself. Hosting gatherings could expose my secrets, but if I keep contacting the mysterious realm, my chances of returning home might increase. I have to face my fears. He finally tells them the gathering will take place every Monday at 3 p.m. Keep this a secret. The girl agrees. Then she turns to the boy and says, should we pick code names too? We can't use our real names. Fool nods. Yes, he says. That's a good idea. Suddenly, someone starts knocking on Klein's door, but he can't respond. He's still unconscious, collapsed on the floor of his room. Meanwhile, back in the divine realm, the girl looks at Klein's throne and says, the fool chose his code name based on a tarot card, so I'll do the same. She smiles and declares, I've decided, my code name will be Justice. Hearing this, the boy nods and follows suit. I'll pick a tarot card too. Call me the Hanged Man. The girl laughs and says, now we're official members of the tarot club. Back in the realm, Klein starts feeling dizzy. My stamina, it's fading, he mutters. He tries to maintain control, but it's slipping. As the two continue chatting, Klein interrupts them. Enough, this gathering ends here. With that, he closes the divine realm, and both the girl and the boy vanish, returning to their original locations. Klein regains consciousness in his room. The knocking continues. He slowly gets up and moves toward the door. Who is it? He asks weakly. A voice replies, police. Klein instantly panics. He scrambles to hide the gun and anything suspicious. Looking through the keyhole, Klein's heart races. Nervously, Klein opens the door. Sorry, I was asleep, he says. The man steps forward. Klein blurts out, You were the one following me. The man calmly replies, yes, and introduces himself. Leonard Mitchell. I'm with the police. Leonard tries to step inside, but Klein blocks him. Why are you coming in? He asks. Just then, another officer arrives. Relax. We're just conducting a simple inquiry, the second man says. His name is Dunn Smith. Klein looks at him and asks, did Naya and Welch really kill themselves? Dunn nods. The scene makes it look that way. Klein disagrees. I think they were possessed. Leonard picks up Klein's diary and reads aloud. Everyone will die, and so will I. Interesting. He looks at Klein and says, care to explain what this means? Klein panics and replies, I don't know. I don't even remember writing that. Dunn cuts in, we have evidence you went to their house on the 27th. Klein shakes his head. I don't even know. I swear. You won't believe me, but I only know what I read in that diary. Dunn raises an eyebrow. Also, Mr. McGovern reported a missing gun. I'm confident we'll find it here. Klein's face goes pale. Quietly, he tells them where it's hidden. Dunn walks over to retrieve it. Before leaving, Dunn turns and asks, is there anything else you'd like to share? Klein nods slowly. Yes, last night, I woke up at midnight. I tried to shoot myself, but I couldn't. After that, my memories started fading. Dunn glares at him. You're insane. But Klein insists, no, I'm telling you the truth. Dunn hears Klein's strange explanation and simply shakes his head. Even that? I can't believe, he says coldly. You'll have to undergo mental verification. Only then can we know whether you're mad or not. Maybe they can even recover your lost memories. Leonard turns to Klein and says, you're actually very lucky. We're glad you're still alive. Normally, people who get involved in such things end up dead. After that, they prepare to escort Klein away. But just as they begin to move, Klein hesitates. A thought races through his mind. If they find out I'm a transmigrator, that my soul entered someone else's body, what will they do to me? Just then, while walking through the streets, they spot a boy stealing bread from an old man. The boy tries to run, but Dunn swiftly stops him. The old man arrives and grabs the child. As the child struggles to break free, he kicks a bamboo stick, causing it to fall and hit the ground with a loud crash. The sudden noise frightens the horses pulling the police carriage. In that moment of distraction, Klein makes a run for it. He sprints through the streets and slips into a narrow alleyway. Panting, he stops for a moment to catch his breath. A window above opens, and someone throws out water. But then, something strange happens. The water freezes midair. Time itself has stopped. Shocked, Klein looks around. Time and space have frozen, he mutters. He begins noticing strange phenomena happening all around him. Panic sets in. There's a beyonder here, he whispers. Every direction he tries to run is suddenly blocked. No matter where he turns, the path ahead gets sealed. He ends up near a horse carriage and quickly hops on. Take me to the port, he tells the coachman. The driver nods and begins moving. For a moment, Klein breathes in relief. Finally, no one's chasing me, he thinks. But when he asks the coachman to stop, the man keeps riding. Suspicious, Klein asks, where are you going? The coachman calmly replies, to Welch's house. That's when Klein realizes the coachman is done. Just then, Klein jolts awake. It was all a dream. He rubs his eyes, confused. When did I fall asleep? He wonders. But before he can gather his thoughts, the door creaks open, and the same intense presence stands before him. Klein stares, heart pounding. Was he inside my dream? Did he manipulate it? He wonders. Is he a beyonder? The man calmly walks in and says, at night, we're much stronger than you think. Klein stares at him and asks, what do you mean by we? Suddenly, the room begins to collapse, and the nightmare starts all over again. Suddenly, a girl appears and tells Klein, don't worry, I'll do things slowly. Saying this, she makes him unconscious. In the next scene, Klein wakes up and sees his parents in front of him, calling him for dinner. A smile spreads across his face. He feels happy. But just as he walks toward them, he hears the girl's voice whispering his name again. Startled, he turns around, but no one is there. He realizes he's hearing her voice, even though she's nowhere in sight. Her voice echoes, the surface memories can now end. Klein panics. How does she know about about my memories? Has she seen my secrets? Is this all because of the gray fog? Suddenly, she appears again and asks him directly, where did you hide the Antigonus family's notebook? Klein replies nervously, I don't know. She continues, what happened on June 27th at Welch's house? What were you doing when they died? Klein becomes overwhelmed. A gun appears in his hand again, and he shoots himself. But instead of dying, Klein wakes up. He mumbles, did I pass the test? Then he sees that same girl talking to Dunn. She tells him, I'm certain he shot himself, but somehow, he's still alive. And his memories? Just like Welch and Naya, completely gone. She adds, whatever force is affecting him is extremely dangerous. I've never encountered a case like this before. Dunn agrees and mentions that the Antigonus family's notebook is still missing, and that Klein is still in danger. Dunn turns to Klein and says, look, we're not your babysitters. We can't protect you forever, unless you choose to join us, and become a Beyonder. With that, the first episode of Lord of the Mysteries ends, full of suspense, supernatural chaos, and unanswered questions. And I know guys, this episode must have left you thinking, what just happened? Who's Klein? What's a Beyonder? But chill, this was just the first episode, and the mystery has only begun. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss episode 2. I'll meet you again in the next part. Till then, bye bye and stay mysterious.